All right, Punisher, season 2, episode 133 review. Now I'm not gonna get into the spoiler aspects of it. Not that there really is too much to spoil in terms of plot and character motivations, really. Uh, I would go ahead and do a whole season review, but this is a lot of content. They still got the 13 episodes, and each episode's almost like an hour long, so it's going to take me a little bit to get through this. I have other responsibilities, children to feed, I got personal garbage going on right now that's kind of running interference on focus. But uh, so Punisher picks up, where with Frank just chilling. The intro kind of gives us a peek at the action to come, but Punisher just he's chilling. He's under his new name, Pete Cassione. Cassa, Cassione. Ah, word salad, word soup. But he's just chilling in a bar drinking. It gets into a scuffle and stuff like that. Like this episode, it's got a lot of little character moments. Episode one, two, three, all of them. They're really large amount of action in all of them. So if you were one of those people that were worried about the Punisher getting woke and going broke, that kind of mentality that was YouTubers were suspicious about when there was an article that was like that the main villain's going to be an alt right Christian and all that. Uh, don't worry about any of that because this is far from get woke, go broke mentality. You got Punisher in here that just got no problem with beating up women that are trying to attack this girl. No, screw their gender. Like he does not care at all. He does not give two fucks. He's throwing them up against the walls, stabbing them, and kicking their asses like they're men. So screw their gender. You know, uh, a lot of awesome, interesting action. But there's a lot of small moments too. That it really gets into the action. The last 15 minutes of the first episode picks up into some really heavy action that is just Punisher type stuff that you want to get into. Uh, and the second episode's got a little bit more of that, not so much as the first, but it does show us what's going on with Russo, Jigsaw, whatever, that whole thing, how he's handling his face being all messed up. And I gotta say that when they do reveal his face, it's really not. It's not even a thing really to have that little bit of scars on your face. I do not. I don't see why it have such a large impact or why people like say some of the things they say to him, considering that his face isn't really that messed up. It's just not. Even wearing a mask, it's unnecessary completely. His face is fine. It's barely scratched off. It's kind of. It really sucks that they didn't go all out as they did in the Punisher Warzone movie. That movie, that's got to be the most accurate uh, version of Punisher ever brought to live action. But they have familiar characters returning, like the Agent Madoni. Uh, she's got she's carrying on here as a supporting character again, and the main supporting character that kind of replaces Mike Rowe's role from last season is a teenage girl that's really mysterious as she's gotten involved in something she shouldn't have, and it's not entirely clear on who this woman is yet. But there are things about her that are pretty questionable. Her changing her name, why she's got a hold of evidence that got people coming after her for. That's pretty much what's going down in the first part. You've got the stuff building with Russo, Jigsaw, where the mentally fractured nature of his mind now. Got that going on. You got you know Frank just trying to be Pete and trying to chill, but you know He gets himself involved with people because he can't just stand by and do nothing. He gets himself not in over his head, but he gets himself into something pretty deep that he's perfectly capable of handling. It's just that it's probably not what he'd prefer. But this girl gets dragged along in all this too, and it's just the dynamic so far. It's pretty funny. It's pretty interesting. Uh, yeah, there's like there one scene where Frank's got to get a bullet out of his ass, and that girl's like, "Oh, that's disgusting." And he's like, he needs her to get it out of his ass, and yeah, there's a lot of funny things in here. The one thing I did not expect that Frank kind of hooks up with somebody. That's not something I would have seen coming since his strong feelings for his wife and stuff. I know people think even if your wife is dead, you're gonna sleep around because humans have needs or whatever. But some people are pretty loyal, and I strike Frank as one of those people that are pretty damn loyal. So I didn't really see that coming, and I didn't particularly like it. The actress that takes that role, she gets her life kind of turned upside down, for by getting him tangled up with Frank, and Frank getting tangled up with this girl, and then you got the villain described as an alt right Christian, and he is pretty deep into religion. There's a little bit more going on there than so far has really been revealed, along with his like church and the people in charge. They kind of give him this mission to go out there get this girl, and that leads to some pretty lengthy, incredible, intense action for the third episode. The third episode is very action packed. Uh, so a lot of funny stuff in it. Second episode, I'd say the first episode is pretty much the slowest. It's settling us back into things, but it's still pretty action packed. Still pretty humorous, interesting, and we get some nice little soft, subtle like callbacks to like Frank's family. And he's not Punisher or anything, so that's a little. But I mean, he certainly behaves like Punisher when when shit hits the fan. He's just brutal, unforgiving, no mercy, badass. Uh, he does not respect Whammon because he's just tossing them all over the damn place, and they try to come at him with knives, and he just beats their asses. So yeah, it is really not part of the whole social justice thing, as a lot of people feared it would be. Just overtly social justice garbage. So far, it does not appear that way at all. Um, it looks pretty strong. There's no them trying to do some political message about guns or whatever. It's just bam, bam, guns all over the place. And Punisher sprays down people. It's pretty good so far. Uh, I'll try to do I'll try to have the full review up tomorrow for the entire season. But there's other reviews I gotta get out. I gotta deal with my children and personal garbage that's going on right now. That kind of, you know, women, whatever. But so far, rank every episode at least a solid 8 out of 10. It's been very good so far. Not particularly too slow, like, because the action is pretty heavy. It's sprinkled in there, and it takes up a good portion of each episode. And we're seeing all the characters are really, really interesting. This is not as slow paced as last season seems. That may change as mid season Netflix Marvel shows tend to get a little bit slower. But so far, it's all good. I highly recommend going and getting into it right now. I know there's not a lot of buzz for Punisher season 2 right now because all the Netflix Marvel shows getting canceled, and Punisher will likely be next, no matter how good this season is. But I say support it. You know, if anything, we'll still get this guy like 2 years down the line playing Punisher, reprising his role. Uh, anyways, uh, like, subscribe, comment, share your opinions. Go out, watch this, share your opinions. Um, check out my GoFundMe link. Check out my PayPal link. I'm not monetized. If you want to support my channel, those are ways to do so. But ultimately, thanks for viewing. Uh, stay awesome. Rock on.